iPhone versus Android, the fight that has raged on for 1,000 years. Or at least 2007, I guess. And I'm blessed enough to, over the past few weeks, be in a situation where I have access to both. Best of both worlds, right? No. It's not a blessing. Story time, I just got back from a rather long trip to Malaysia, which was absolutely amazing. The only unamazing part was the fact that the first few days in, I lost my phone. Yeah, that sucked.
Hi, so I just lost my phone. Cool. I guess when I was running, it fell out of my pocket. I have no idea where.
And because I didn't want to be in this strange country with no phone, my girlfriend Susan lent me her old Android, which I've never used an Android phone before, but that's the story behind this phone case. And in an incredibly fortunate coincidence, I just so happened to take out my SIM card from my iPhone 8 before I lost it. So I still had that. So the plan was, while I was there in Malaysia, I got a cheap local SIM card that I just plopped in this bad boy so I could at least like text Susan and have some mobile data. You know, your boy's got to get his Redditing in. Side note, their mobile data is so much cheaper. It cost me like $15 to get 10 gigabytes for a month. That was pretty dope. And then I brought my old SIM card with me in my wallet onto the plane and switched out SIM cards, 20,000 feet in the air. So then when I arrived in the airport, I could use my phone number to call an Uber to take me home. Genius plan. Except it didn't work. Because as soon as I arrived at the airport, as soon as I got in place to call the Ubs, I noticed no signal. What? Like the phone was recognizing the SIM card, it recognized my phone number, it loaded all of my contacts in, but it just wasn't getting any service. That's not good! So what I'm thinking is happening is US cell towers are different than American ones. Maybe they use like a different frequency or something, I don't know. But this is just not recognizing any American cell towers. And Google is not helping. Chris, couldn't you order an Uber over Wi-Fi at the airport? That's a very good point. The problem is LAX just implemented a new feature where you can't order an Uber from the airport anymore. You have to go out a little ways. Plus, this is a new phone, so to register my Uber account onto here, they needed to send a verification text! But I finally arrive home, dig into all of the drawers, find this old dinosaur, and switch my SIM card into it. Boot it up, super excited. Here it is. Hello. Hola. I feel very welcomed back into my Apple shell. Let's boot this bad boy right up. Oh, that's not good. Then I am greeted to the message I desperately do not want to read after all of this. SIM not supported. The SIM card that you currently have installed in this iPhone is from a carrier that is not supported under the activation policy that is currently assigned by the activation server. Long story short, I used to be under an AT&T plan. Then when I moved out here, jumped to Verizon. And apparently this was carrier locked to AT&T. And I realized how privileged I sound with making all of this, but I have a backup of my backup plan because your boy happens to own a cellular Apple Watch. I can at least still get texts and calls from that, right? No, of course not. Why would it be that easy? Because when I lost my phone, I unlinked it from my Apple ID, obviously, because I don't want if someone finds it to get into all of my stuff. But that means that it unpaired my watch. And it also unpaired the SIM plan. So I'm paying for cellular on my Apple Watch, but can't access it because my SIM card won't work in any phone. I'm fine. I haven't had cell service. I haven't been able to receive calls or texts for like 2 weeks now. And I have gotten Facebook messages from IRL friends that have been hurt by the fact that they have texted me seeing that I'm back home and wanting to hang out, and I'm just it looks like I'm ghosting them, but guys, I'm not ghosting. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I just don't have cell service. Sorry, yeah. You want to know the best thing though? When this watch got unpaired from the phone, it kept on the local time, and there is no good way to change the time on your Apple Watch directly. You have to do it through your iPhone, but I don't have an iPhone. But Chris, why don't you use the iPhone that you have here? Just take out your SIM card and do it over Wi-Fi. That would be fantastic, except for there's one slight problem, and that is I cannot restore my old iPhone backups to this bad boy because an iPhone 6 is locked to iOS 12, which means I would need to erase everything that's stored on this Apple Watch memory and set it up as a new watch. But I don't want to do that because I was very careful when I was in Malaysia because I really value biometrics data to be able to like record. I had it on me constantly every time I slept and every time I went out to track how many calories I burned and how deep my sleep was, and I really don't want to lose all of that if I don't have to. So this tells the incorrect time, which is the whole point of a watch. Technology is failing me. So that's how my week's going, if you're wondering. Everything's going wrong. Eventually I'll be able to afford a new phone, and then if you have texted me, I'll get back to you. I'm sorry. Hey, now I finally have an excuse for my terrible communication skills. I hope your week is going a lot better than mine. This is really sad that I'm freaking out this much over not even just like, I can still use my phone when I'm on Wi-Fi. It's exclusively mobile data / phone and calling, anything with a SIM card that I can't do. But I guess that just goes to show how much of my life is over the internet. Cool. Pray for me.